So we all know by now AI has changed pretty much everything about freelance writing. ChatGPT can spit out an article in 5 seconds. It doesn't take coffee breaks, it doesn't need to sleep, and it is very inexpensive. So does that mean we should all give up our writing careers and maybe just start selling those tiny little crochet cat hats on Etsy instead? Well, as tempting as that might sound, I am here to tell you that you do not have to give up on your freelance writing dreams and goals. You can very much still do this, but we've got to pivot our marketing strategy in a way that sets us apart from AI and ChatGPT and in a way that's actually working in today's market. Let's jump in and I'll show you exactly how that's done. All right, here we are. We're going to talk about how to stop competing with AI and ChatGPT as a freelance writer for good. Whether you're brand new to this or you have some experience, I'm going to show you exactly how it is done. Now, a lot of writers today think AI is just taking all the writing jobs. However, I want to tell you that simply is not true. And I'm not just saying that, it is actually based on my own personal experience as well as the experience of my many students. Now, that being said, the market has changed, okay? And it is crucial that you understand these changes so you can pivot your marketing accordingly. Let's talk about what has happened to freelance writing with AI in the picture, and I am going to show you exactly what you need to do to stand out from AI, stop competing with it, and make it irrelevant. Why listen to me? It's really important for you to know when you find someone on the internet why you should listen to them, check their credibility. I won't read all this to you, but you can pause and check this out if you like. Basically, I built an $8,500 a month freelance writing business, then a multiple 6-figure business. I've helped over 50,000 writers with my free trainings and many writers in my paid programs. And I've also struggled with multiple chronic health issues, so I really do understand what it's like to need to make a livable income writing from home, not while working crazy 50, 60, 70 hours a week, but actually making a good living working part-time hours so you can enjoy your life. So now that that's out of the way, the first thing you need to know is the way you stand out from AI, aka ChatGPT or whatever, and also stand out from cheap writers is by positioning yourself, okay? Positioning yourself as not even being in competition with AI and cheap writers. I'm throwing cheap writers in here next to AI because those are kind of all in the same pool, right? $10, $20 SEO article writer type of writers. Those are primarily the writers who are competing with AI and losing their jobs to AI right now. So just wanted to make that clear. Now, positioning means using your marketing strategy to create the perception, right? Because perception is reality in marketing, that you are not competing with a sea of cheaper writers in AI. So your positioning is up here, cheaper writers in AI is down here. As like I said, in marketing, perception is reality. And I really want you to take this next sentence in down here. Every single thing from your cold emails to the homepage of your writer website either helps or hurts your positioning, because it is either going to help or hurt the way you are perceived. In today's market, we have got to be thinking about the way we are perceived based on our marketing, every aspect of it, from our writer website to our cold emails and beyond. So I want you to think about it like this. Imagine you opened up a restaurant, right? And it sold $40 steaks, real high-end stuff, organic vegetables, the best of the best. But the outside of that restaurant looked and felt like a rundown, crappy fast food restaurant from like 1980. Okay? No one is gonna want to spend $40, $50, $60 to eat a meal there, right? It just makes sense. That's because you're positioning your restaurant, in this case, as in competition with McDonald's and Burger King by the way it looks on the outside. Even if that isn't true and the food is actually great. If I see some rundown looking restaurant, I'm probably not even going to go in there, much less am I going to spend like $40 or $50 on a steak or whatever there. So the point is, positioning affects perception. And in marketing, perception is everything. It's so important to understand this and get this right in today's market. So how would you fix this? Well, you can see in this example, you would need to have a restaurant that positions your food as high value so that you are positioned in the right pool of competition, right? You're not positioning yourself as competing with fast food joints because you're always going to lose if you do that because you're competing based on price. Your restaurant is positioning itself as really run down and you're going to be competing on price. Instead, you need to position yourself as high value by having a nice restaurant, doing nice things like getting nice tables, nice dinnerware, getting a nice restaurant in general. So you would want a nice looking building, more upscale decor inside, because all of these things would affect the customer's perception. There's that word again, perception of your restaurant, which therefore impacts your positioning in the customer's mind. In 2025, freelance writing is working the exact same way. The writers who are competing with AI are doing so because they've got fast food positioning, right? Clients are perceiving them as a low value based on their marketing, even if that's not actually true. They're positioning themselves as a low value and are therefore in competition with AI and cheap writers by doing things like not having a niche, not having a professional niche optimized writer website, having an unconfident cold email. All these things contribute to this fast food positioning that keeps you in competition with AI and cheap writers. On the other hand, let's look at steakhouse positioning. Successful writers today are using up-to-date marketing strategies that position them as high value and not even in competition with AI and cheap writers. And yes, by the way, because I know I'll get asked, even beginners can do this. You can totally do this if you're a beginner. I'm living proof. So many of my students are living proof. Really, really want you to understand that and take that in. And remember, in marketing, perception is reality. Everything from your cold emails to the homepage of your writer website either positions you as low value and competing with AI and cheaper writers, or as high value and not competing with AI and cheaper writers. So how are we going to shift your positioning? Well, let's do it. Let's see how we're going to shift your positioning so you can stop competing with AI and actually be seen as high value, because you are high value. So let's make sure that the client's perception of you matches that by fixing your positioning. And by the way, you can take my new and updated free class. Oh my gosh, it is so good, so in-depth, so detailed. For way more info on how to position yourself as high value, even if you have zero experience, this class will teach you how to make $5,000 to $8,000 a month or more freelance writing, only part-time hours in today's market. So definitely click over and check that out. And also, let's just pretend I didn't have a typo and misspell yourself there on this page. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Okay, first, here are the 3 things keeping you stuck as a low value writer and therefore attracting really crappy, low paying clients, right? Meaning you have that fast food positioning that is making clients think in their brain like, okay, this is someone who I could easily replace with AI. Lack of an AI-proof, profitable niche and target clientele. Target clientele is just as important as your niche. I say that a lot, but if you're new around here, I really want to draw attention to that point as well. So the reason why this hurts you is because niching builds trust and positions you as high value. So if you don't have a niche, or if your niche is not AI-proof or profitable or clearly positioned throughout your marketing, you're going to struggle. And yes, you can and should do this even as a beginner. About 70% of my students, when they come into my paid program, have zero experience and they get great results. So I really want to let you know, even if you're a beginner or if you have some experience and you're just pivoting, either way, you can do this. Another thing keeping you stuck with crappy clients is using Fiverr and Upwork. Oh my gosh, I've been telling writers to get off these sites for about 8 years now. It is more crucial than ever today to do it though. So these sites inherently position you as an order taker, right? They're not positioning you as a business owner worthy of high pay and someone who's not in competition with AI. And the clients looking for writers there, they don't really respect you. They see you as replaceable by AI. So we've got to get off these sites and start our own business. And the third thing keeping you stuck is having a generic portfolio website that maybe you approach kind of like a resume, or just like, here's me showing and telling who I am and what I do. You don't want to do that in today's market. And if your website has no trust signals or differentiation, you will also struggle. So a trust signal is just something that triggers a target client to trust you. It is a psychological trigger that helps them trust you. Differentiation means standing out. How are you standing out from other writers? Because your website is like the storefront or your restaurant, and every single section of it is either going to help or hurt your positioning. So it's really important to think about it like this. I have a lot of writers come to me saying they want to start without a website, It is just not something that you can really do in today's market because differentiation and your positioning is so important in the age of AI and a sea of cheap writers out there, okay? Quick side note, my students in my Killer Cold Emailing program actually already have their entire writer website already pre-built and optimized to convert. I personally built this template and optimized all the copy. Everything goes everywhere. Like, it is already completely built out. They simply drop in the zip file and their site is launched. So you can check out more about that in my free class. And then if you'd like, upgrade to my paid course for access to that template. All right. Now that you know what's wrong and maybe a few reasons why you've been competing with AI, we're going to talk about how to fix these issues. Here are 3 ways to shift your positioning so that you are so done competing with AI and cheaper writers. We're going for this steakhouse positioning over here, right? This is how you do it. Choose a profitable and AI-proof niche and target clientele, okay? Not just the niche topic like pet care or finance, but you got to take it a step further in today's market and choose a profitable target clientele who actually has the budget to pay you well and a high demand for the service you're offering. Budget and demand. 2 things that you got to remember, okay? This is so critical in a 2025 market. Not only do you need this done right, you need to then position that niche properly on your writer website, in your cold emails, etc., right? So your niche is so important because it trickles down into every other piece of your marketing strategy. That is why you've got to get it done right from day one and get your target clientele done right from day one as well. Tip number 2, we've got to get off of these crappy sites like Upwork and Fiverr and use an up-to-date cold emailing strategy. Keyword is up to date, okay? Because the stuff that was working 1, 2, 3 years ago is no longer working in today's market. There is a huge difference between just trying something out and doing it right, okay? Trying something, not knowing you're going into it with a strategy versus doing it right and knowing, okay, I know I'm doing this using the correct strategy. These 2 approaches are going to yield 2 drastically different results. So it's important to not just do it, but do it right. And then number 3, you've got to set up a client converter website specifically built to convert the clients you are cold emailing, okay? The CCW or client converter website is actually my own proprietary strategy that I created when all these market shifts started happening. And what it does is it positions you as professional and trustworthy, even if you're a beginner, differentiates you, helps with your premium positioning, gets you that steakhouse positioning that we want, and it does all the heavy lifting for you when it comes to selling your writing services. And this just makes so much sense, right? We want our website to not just show and tell about us, but to sell. This site is strategically optimized to sell the clients you're pitching and cold emailing. That is why it is so incredibly effective. So I want you to get inside a client's mind for a minute. I want you to really think about this, because if you can learn to think this way, you can be in business successful for a very, very long time. So let's imagine you're a client. You want to hire a writer, okay? And you got $750 to spend on a pet care blog post. I'm going to show you 2 options, and I want you to tell me which one of these you would hire. Option 1, the fast food positioning writer, okay? You're looking through their marketing and they don't really have a specific niche. They just say, I write blog posts about X, Y, and Z, multiple different topics. One of them might be pet care, but it's also finance, it's also technology. It's not specific. And they don't have a writer website, or maybe they have a website that doesn't state their niche, isn't professional, doesn't even have a custom domain, like the bare minimum investment you got to make in yourself as a business owner, right? And you found the writer on Upwork and Fiverr. Because of these 3 things, even if this is a great writer, and even if this is technically skill-wise the better writer to pick, none of that matters, because these 3 issues here already position this writer in your mind as low value, as someone who could be replaced by AI, as someone who could be competing on price, as someone who you could replace by hiring a cheaper writer. This is a big problem, and I want you to think about this as we move on to the next option, which is the steakhouse positioning writer. This is your other option. On their website, they have a niche relevant to you and exactly what you need. They say, I write blog posts that help pet care companies get more customers. Clear as day, right? And they've got it positioned properly. They've got a professional writer website. Maybe it's theirname.com or theirnamewrites.com, optimized with trust signals related to pet care. They have specifically optimized their website for you, their one target client. And you didn't find them on Upwork and Fiverr trying to hustle for $5, right? You got a cold email from them clearly explaining and selling their services and positioning their niche, and it linked out to their client converter website. I mean, the choice is obvious, right? You are going to choose this steakhouse positioning writer every time because your perception of them is A, they're trustworthy and professional, and B, they are a fit for the specific project you need help with. And how did they make you think all these things? Using their positioning, their niche, their writer website, and their cold email all uses this steakhouse positioning. And all these things work together to position in your mind that they are not competing with AI because they are not low value. This is so important because in 2025, and even moving forward from now, it's going to be more important than ever before to get your positioning done right. This is how you stop competing with AI and cheap writers, period. So do you want to learn how to use trust signals to position yourself as high value so you can stop competing with AI and cheaper writers and hit your income goal, whether it's 3K, 5K, 8K, or even 10K a month and beyond? Because I can show you how to do this fast and the easy way inside my brand new training, which is now free for a limited time. And I really do mean new. This is completely new and updated for today's market. What is working now? Because like I said, what was working a year, 2 years ago, etc., is no longer working today. But this training is going to walk you through every single step you need to take to do that premium positioning where you are no longer competing with AI and cheap writers. So grab your access at the link now. I'll put the link down below in the description box as well as the pinned comment, or you can just type in makemoneyfreelancewriting.com and you'll be redirected. Because at this class, which by the way is for aspiring freelance writers, total beginners, or freelance writers who have some experience but don't have enough high paying clients yet, you will learn the exact process for building a $5,000 a month writing business, working part-time hours if you so choose, okay? Even if you have no experience, no portfolio yet, and no niche yet. You will learn how to never compete with AI and cheaper writers, unlock the one asset you need to get 10 times more clients in 2025, and see the new trust signal strategy making writers $5,000 to $8,000 or more a month that is proven to work in today's market. So click over now and start watching that free training because it is really good. I promise it is not just one of those crappy guru classes where I tell you my life story for 30 minutes and then do a sales pitch for like 3 hours. This is not that. It is actually useful. So click over now and check it out. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What questions do you have about AI and ChatGPT? What questions do you have about freelance writing in today's market? Comment below and let me know. I try to answer most, if not all, of my comments, so I would love to hear from you and help you out. Also, comment below if you have any other video ideas you'd like me to record in the future. I'll be recording another little batch of videos soon, so new ideas are always really helpful for me. But that is all for me today, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a part of our friendly little writing community and this awesome little corner of the internet. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.